Hello, guys and gals, me Mudahar, and boy oh boy, Rockstar Games, they've been hacked again. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you wake up some days and you read the words, Rockstar Games, your instances are compromised, thanks to Anodot Pay or Leak. Now, ladies and gentlemen, normally I wouldn't be taking this seriously, but I am taking it seriously because even Rockstar's like, yeah, we can confirm that a limited amount of non-material company information was accessed in a third-party data breach. The incident has no impact on our organization or our players. Now, obviously, that last sentence might seem pretty cool to you, like, whoa, hopefully things are on their way. But when I read the first part of that, ooh, what kind of information was actually accessed? So, to give you an idea, ladies and gentlemen, the hacker group that is behind this message is none other than a group known as the Shiny Hunters. Now, the Shiny Hunters are kind of part of this Legion of Doom hacker group that are sort of partnered and work with a lot of other hacker groups, so guys like Scattered Spider, Lapsus, for instance, right over here. This is a pretty wild story. It's pretty developing, to be honest with you, but the fact that it's confirmed makes it an actual story, right? So what kind of happened? Basically, last night, a bunch of these hackers kind of showcased this little warning. So they said that basically the Snowflake instances were compromised thanks to Anodot. This is a final warning to reach out by 14th April 2026 before we leak along with several annoying digital problems that come your way. So, obviously, I think for a lot of people who are excited for GTA 6, like me, there were some people like, man, is this game going to get fucking delayed again? I think GTA 6 will probably get delayed again, but it has nothing to do with this hack. Let's just be completely honest with you here. Now, one of the things that's been really important with these kind of hacks is, 4 weeks ago, a month ago, for anybody that doesn't know, a man by the name of Arian Cortage was actually talking about GTA 6 and the source code for the game being fucking leaked. Now, this is a alleged thing going on. Basically, for anybody that doesn't recognize that name, Arian Cortage is the 18-year-old that actually has an indefinite hospital order because of, breaking into Rockstar Games, right? So this is an 18-year-old kid who has apparently been pinned as one of the key members of a hacking group known as Lapsus. Lapsus, for anybody that doesn't know, has had high-profile hacks like the Microsoft, Corporation of Microsoft, NVIDIA, Samsung. So Rockstar Games, actually, if you think about it, is kind of fucking basically nothing in comparison. Anyways, this kid has been captured. They put him on an indefinite hospital order because I think he's just not mentally fit to really handle a trial of this case, right? I mean, and the other thing, it's an 18-year-old kid, okay? Unfortunately, he chose to pick fights with companies that have more power than you and I can necessarily conceive. I'm not even talking about Rockstar Games. I'm just talking about the big tech guys that he went after, right? Like Samsung, for instance. But anyways, to understand, this person used a method to apparently bring more information. They were talking more shit from inside their indefinite hospital hold. Now, allegedly, they used a cell phone, something like this, the small little phone that can be stuffed in any orifice and, sent into prisons. And using phones like this, they were able to send messages to guys like this Omar fella. Now, this is actually from Ben Videotech UK. This is sourced out to him. He's the one that allegedly, this is where I got these messages from, but he's like, damn, wait, that means GTA 6 is out somewhere too? Shit! Now, back when GTA had huge leaks, like this is probably, I want to say probably maybe almost 4 years ago. Like, god damn, we're waiting forever for this fucking game. Back then, GTA had a whole bunch of leaks. I remember the day, like, fucking my wife wakes me up. She's like, GTA 6 got leaked. And I'm like, what the fuck? Really? So I go online, I look it up. Whoa, lo and behold, there's, like, videos and, like, photos and everything. Now, obviously, there was a talk on the forums at the time that maybe the source code for GTA 6 was somewhere out there. Now, I looked around. I tried finding it. Did not find any of the source code. So, but Arian is like, it's definitely somewhere. And of course, he's like, did the source not get leaked? Question mark. To which a Russian guy's like, 5 leaked. So 5 source code did, 6 did not. And of course, Arian is like, interesting. No further comment on that matter. So obviously, there's a non-zero chance that we might get GTA 6 open source before GTA 6. A lot of shit has been happening before GTA 6 is dropping. And I think it's scary in many people's minds, especially Rockstar. If, like, imagine spending how much money on GTA 6, and then all of a sudden people just have access to the core game files. And when you have access to the source code for GTA 6, you also have access to their Rage engine, which, you know, has millions, hundreds of millions of dollars of actual money put into it to make it look so good, to make it look super efficient, something that is something that probably is more important than GTA itself for a company like Rockstar, is their actual technology they use to make the game look so good and hopefully perform as good as it looks in its trailers. But anyways, for anybody that's been following this kind of thing, obviously Shiny Hunters is back fucking with Rockstar one more time. So how did this hack actually happen? Well, let me explain it exactly 100%. Basically, how these people have been hacking these companies is they've been using something known as vishing. Now, this is from Google. So Google is the ones that kind of detailed how this works. So a couple months ago in January of this year, there was a push by a company like, or an organization like Shiny Hunters to start attacking organizations like Salesforce. So basically what they would do is they would send a phishing link to a actual individual that would work in IT or something, where they would have credentials into some of these organizations that, you know, they were targeting. So instead of hacking Rockstar Games, they would hack, you know, obviously the organization known as Anodot, which right over here, as you can see, they're just an organization that these companies sort of farm out. They contract with to do data analysis or things of that nature. Now, obviously, with companies like Anodot, you can see right over here that back on April 4th, they had issues with their Snowflake streams. In fact, the data collectors that were affected are not retrieving samples like Snowflake, like S3, like Kinesis. And of course, obviously, Snowflake is this other instance that was working with Anodot. So Anodot had a fuck up, which led to, again, these hackers getting into Snowflake, which contained information that was kind of pertinent to Rockstar. So going back to the hack over here, once they had contacted the IT people at Anodot, they basically had fucked with them enough to the point where the guys over at Anodot clicked a phishing link, they gave up information, and then that information, and again, a combination of tokens was used to break into, again, private instances for these big companies. Now, according to Shiny Hunters, what actually ended up getting grabbed over here was important things like the financial data of the company, the player spending habits, the marketing timelines, and of course, what contracts they would have with outsourcing companies. So in this case, what could actually get leaked from the game is things like the in-game soundtrack, right? Like, who the fuck is Rockstar working with? Who is a musician, for instance, right? Or like any of these music companies that they're licensing the in-game soundtrack from. Obviously, the financial data is kind of fucking important for some people who are interested in how Rockstar makes money. One of the things you probably have heard about is, like, I guess Rockstar Games is going to make people millionaires with like their GTA Online 2. And the way that it's apparently been sort of billed is that GTA Online 2 will apparently have like will apparently allow you to make your own custom experiences, similar to like how Fortnite works or Roblox works, where, you know, naturally Rockstar will allow you to make your own type of experiences, maybe your own little custom servers, maybe your own roleplay experiences, and people can make a little bit of money off of that, while Rockstar makes a shit ton of money off of that platform. And look, the thing about it is obviously it's kind of natural, right? Like, Fortnite makes a lot of money for Epic, Roblox makes a lot of money for the Roblox Corporation, and you would imagine that GTA Online 2, which is definitely not going to be a failure, I mean, it's GTA, they're going to make oodles more cash than they ever were making with Grand Theft Auto Online, and fuck tons more cash than they were ever even thinking of with Red Dead Online. So it's a money bonanza for the company, if you will. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, Rockstar Games has apparently gotten this little hack over here, and given how this is playing out, I don't imagine Rockstar is going to actually pay up, which means whatever information these guys have probably will end up just getting leaked, and people can just pilfer through it and see all these important things. And if there really is like personal information, then you'll find out also in the next couple days when Rockstar has to make even further disclosures, because obviously they are beholden by these laws. They are beholden not just to shareholders, but to the consumers, especially when it comes to actual private information getting fucking leaked. I imagine Rockstar is still looking through everything that has possibly been fucking breached, which is, again, another headache on top of the headache that is developing Grand Theft Auto 6, I imagine. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, another hack has hit the Grand Theft Auto 6 timeline. Another hack has sort of hit the Rockstar Games And ultimately, the end, ladies and gentlemen, I think this might be one of, in some ways, a relatively cursed development for a video game, right? Like if you look at GTA 6 as a whole, it's a game that largely people were kind of speculating when the fuck is Rockstar going to announce it. It took a lot of leaks for the game to come out for then Rockstar to just like kind of tweet and say, hey, listen, we are working on GTA 6. Hell, when they were releasing the fucking trailer, somebody was able to pull the trailer off of YouTube, and Rockstar had to release even that trailer early. And, now we're kind of sitting at a point where obviously if you've been following GTA 6, there's not really a lot to talk about. I haven't really talked a lot about Rockstar Games or Grand Theft Auto because there's not much to discuss. 11 months ago, they released a trailer for Grand Theft Auto 2 or Grand Theft Auto 6, trailer 2, and, they gave a bunch of screenshots like you're seeing over here, and they still have not provided anything new. There hasn't been a new screenshot since then. Not even another fucking tweet or mention other than the game getting delayed. It's why I've said mentally I have prepared myself for another GTA 6 delay. Honest to God, I think the fact that we're in fucking, April right now, and there hasn't even been a talk about this game, especially when this is the alleged release year, again, I'm just mentally preparing myself for that 2027 release date, simply because I think this is a huge deal for Rockstar. Honestly, if you want me to be completely conspiracy ridden, I think a lot of the reasons that GTA 6 got delayed itself was because I think the online mode just wasn't there. And obviously that is the most important thing for Rockstar. And I think for them to nail every facet of that down perfectly is even more important than just, because the single player is going to bang no matter what. I'm sure that's fine. It's the online that they just cannot. They don't want to have a Cyberpunk 2077 launch situation with this game whatsoever, especially when it comes to the online, system. Now, I tried going to Shiny Hunter's website, and unfortunately on the dark web, it seems like a lot of their site is being taken down, or maybe it's just inactive with the amount of people that are going on there. But yeah, you can see that obviously it's an organization that just gives out information. If you don't pay up, all of the stuff that they have on you is just fully fucking available for download. And given the track record of these people, they're not a joke hacking organization. They really fucking mean what they set out to do. But ultimately at the end, yes, another hack has hit the Rockstar Games timeline. And thankfully, hopefully it seems, even according to Rockstar, it's not going to delay the game any further. Though I still think the game is getting delayed. It's just not going to be because of a fucking hack. It's because there's just some aspect of the game they need to fucking keep nailing down. And until the game gets nailed down, we can wait forever. In fact, for Rockstar, you can really just wait indefinitely because they already have a cash cow that is called GTA 5 and it's still raking in a shit ton amount of money, even if it's not getting updated like crazy. So yeah, again, it's wild stuff to see. But obviously for me, look, I'm excited for GTA 6. And honestly, anytime they get hacked, I'm obviously excited to see what the fuck comes out of a hack like this. What kind of stuff gets released. Because honestly, if you're a GTA fan, you've just been waiting this long anyways. By the time this game comes out, at least it's interesting to say that the wait to GTA 6 and the path to get here has at least been somewhat interesting, even if it's been completely sparse with information from Rockstar themselves. You think by now they would have given you a fucking gameplay trailer? They have not even attempted to give you that. One thing I will say is, I'm still on my journey to 100% as many of these GTA games as I can. It is definitely invoking some burnout from Grand Theft Auto, which I don't think is good to do while I'm getting excited for their sixth fucking entry, the sixth mainline GTA game. But one thing that I can say is before we end this video off on, the community for Rockstar has been so mind-bogglingly great that one of the projects that I'm most interested in, this is GTA Carcer City. They released a demo literally yesterday. I might actually even make a fucking video of it if I get it installed and running properly, where again, a community has taken one of the maps from the Manhunt franchise, Carcer City, and have made an entire, or are attempting to make an entire mainline Grand Theft Auto game, fan-made, around it. Now, obviously, I think it's a great job that they're doing. It's one of the projects that I'm basically mostly excited for. You can even see they've got a map of the game right here. It's crazy when a community is so in love with the game franchise, they just end up making entire fucking games out of it. But 3.3 thousand people have downloaded it already, including me. So hopefully this will satiate some of the wait. But yeah, Rockstar did in fact get something hacked, a third party. Now, a lot of it could be financial info. I'd be interested to see. I'd be interested to see what the future monetization looks like for GTA. Because you know that's the biggest plan for a company like Rockstar, especially with how they've treated GTA 5 and fucking even Red Dead 2. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it. I am out.